Well, we always figure it out, I guess, but I want to really figure it out, John.
No, you don't.
What's the meaning of this podcast? It's kind of like, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of PoddiMouths?
There isn't a meaning.
Is it 68?
Yes.
What's that? So, do you remember that movie? Have you, or that book? Actually, you probably read the book before the movie came out. I still haven't read the book. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nope. Didn't read it. Didn't see it.
Have you watched the movie?
Nope.
John, you don't watch any of the movies I watch.
Why would I?
I thought we were simpatico.
I know.
Is that the right word?
This is why we didn't get married.
That's right. That, and it's been illegal up until recently.
Well.
But let's not get into that because that's politics, and you know how I feel about politics.
Same way I do.
Yeah, exactly.
We could. So, it's good to know that we have the capacity to do it.
We could. That's the other. We would have to change the name from PoddiMouths to PoddiMouths with T's instead of D's if we were going to start talking politics.
Talking all the time.
Naughty.
Hey, you know what I had an idea about?
What, okay. Oh, God. I don't know if I want to know.
Open up YouTube.
Open up in okay, but John, remember last week when we were doing stuff on the internet and everything dropped out?
Yeah.
What happens if that happens again?
I'm not scared.
Okay, I've got YouTube. You ain't scared. Okay, YouTube's
open.
So
I would like to know some of your subscriptions.
Oh. My subscriptions or what is recommended? Because those are two different things.
I know. Your subscriptions. What do you subscribe to? Because that's your choice, not Google/YouTube's choice.
/Peyton because she watches on my account so I can monitor
Well, you don't have to talk about Peytons if you don't want to. Although it would be funny.
I will. Well, let's do that afterwards. So Looper is one of them. Looper is they show movie trailers and they talk about movies and things like that.
That would be right up your alley.
Yep. Tim and Finn. They are a couple out of Indianapolis who are traveling. They bought a camper and traveled all through Canada and Alaska, but now they are traveling similar to Kara and Nate, which is also one of my subscriptions. They actually travel via airplane and cars and stuff and just travel around the world and talk about their lives. They also have an apparel line of hiking gear, like hiking backpacks and stuff like that. And I have one of their backpacks, and it's a really nice day trip backpack that folds down into almost a little bit bigger than a wallet size container that you can carry around. It's really cool. Yeah. MJ Sailing, and it's just another couple sailing. I got a lot of those. 5 Minute Crafts, that's for Peyton. The Piano Guys.
I know Piano Guys. 5 Minute Crafts. Okay. Are you sure that's not yours?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know. I see you working with paste a lot.
No, that's huffing paste. There's a complete difference.
You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, really?
No, I said Huffington Post, not huffing the paste.
Oh, Huffington. See, I just misunderstood you. It's all the pipping and the popping and the hipping and the hopping. Yeah. The Rubin Report. And some of these now, I'm saying them. I don't watch all of these. I just might have clicked subscribe because I watched one that was interesting.
How many do you have?
I haven't watched. I haven't watched anything from the Rubin Report probably in 6 months. But it's one of my subscriptions.
Okay.
Midnight Edge.
How many subscriptions? How many subscriptions do you have total? If you had to guess,
a couple hundred.
Okay, that's about what I have probably.
Midnight's Edge, which is another like Looper. Taste Made, which is a really good cooking thing. The Nerdist, of course.
Duh.
Tasty, which is another cooking thing. Ted.
Yep.
Here's one of my favorites. And it used to have a different name, but he renamed it back to his original name. It's now called Mikey McBrien, but it was at one point Plane Savers, which is what he actually posts all the time is Plane Savers. So what they did is he posted every single day for an entire year, from the purchase of to the restoration of to the first flight of an old DC-3 that was actually part of the D-Day invasion.
Wow.
And his goal was to start the restoration of it and actually have it fly on the anniversary of D-Day this year.
Wow.
So they did that. They succeeded. It's a beautiful airplane, and now they're working on a different one. They're actually working on a what is it? I can't remember the name of it. It's basically the Red Baron's airplane.
Cool.
So they're restoring a mock or a replica of the Red Baron's airplane.
Bi-wing.
And the most recent episode that they posted 18 hours ago was Bruce Dickinson flies our DC-3. And Bruce Dickinson is one of the artists in Iron Maiden.
So interesting, because wasn't Bruce Dickinson the name in the famous Saturday Night Live Don't Fear the Reaper, more cowbell bit? Wasn't Bruce Dickinson the name of who's the actor who did it? I can see his face.
I don't remember.
Christopher Walken.
Right.
Yeah. I think Bruce Dickinson was the name.
Could have been. And probably for a reason. He is also, Bruce Dickinson is also, I believe, I might have the wrong one, but I believe he's actually a commercial pilot as well.
Oh, cool.
Like, he made so much money, he's bought his own jets and decided to get his rating so he could fly them.
Wow.
Epic family road trip. It's funny, which is Peyton's. Tasty 5-minute crafts. Why is it showing me Gary V? Bon appetit.
Who's Gary V?
Gary V? Gary Vaynerchuk?
Don't know.
You don't know Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
He wrote the book Jab, 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 Right Hook. A whole bunch. He started in the wine business with his family. They owned a wine distribution company, and he started doing YouTube videos for it. Got really famous doing that, and then started his own digital marketing firm, and goes around now, writes books, speaks, has his own YouTube channel, podcast, all of this stuff. And he just talks about the best way to market digitally using social media and things like that. And he also has a very foul mouth, so he's known for his foul mouth. Very, very good, very, very interesting. Also an immigrant, part of an immigrant family. So I highly recommend looking up Gary V, if not just to read his books, but also some of his digital marketing efforts.
Okay, so you were, as you're speaking about him, you're going, you don't follow? Wow. There are so many YouTube channels. For example, do you know Jerry Palladino? I follow him.
I do know. I do not follow, but I do know Jerry Palladino.
What does Jerry do?
I don't know.
See?
I just know. You said, do you know? I said, yes, I know. I don't know why. Well,
you don't know what he does.
You don't know. You don't know my life.
But I want you to look up Jerry. Interesting guy. Jerry Palladino is, what's his channel called? Ride Like a Pro. And he is a Harley instructor on riding. And it's amazing, some of the stuff he's able to do. He took a 14-year-old girl, taught her to ride in an afternoon. She's just a little wisp of a thing, and she's on a great big Harley hog and riding around a parking lot, going through pylons, and unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of cool.
Nice. I might have to take lessons from him.
Okay. He's
I used to ride little bikes and dirt bikes just fine, and then once and they had there was a gap of a very large gap in between the time I rode those and I tried this, but I was moving a Harley at a dealership that I worked at, and I laid it down. And after that, I do not want to touch a motorcycle ever. I didn't get hurt. It was literally going 1 mile an hour, but that freaked me out so much. It was the heaviest bike I'd ever ridden. So that was just it was a bad experience. It was a very slippery floor because it was in the shop.
And that's too bad, because it's, anybody is going to drop one of those sometime. You're just going to. That's how it is. But mine weighs 900 pounds without me on it, so it's not like you can. I don't hang it from the wheels on the garage ceiling or anything. It's
right.
It's pretty large and pretty unwieldy, and you got to know how to handle them.
And that's the point. I realized then I really didn't know how to handle a bike that size, and I don't really want to anymore. It scared me enough. That little bit scared me enough.
You should not be scared. It's not. It's not that difficult. You just. I am so there. Well, and I have the same conversation with Lisa too, because she rode a motor scooter, some little POS that we bought for $600 or something, and it has no power whatsoever. And she dumped it I think 3 times, riding a couple of miles, and she came home.
See, that's 2 more times than I was willing to try.
She's all scraped up, and no, but this is one of those scooter things that I actually can lift, but it has no power. So when you lean, if you're, turning like you do on a bicycle or a motorcycle, you lean one way or the other to turn, or counter steer to turn. And you can't lean and power out of it because there's no power to the damn thing. So
Right.
you have to turn the forks in order to be able to do it. So anyway, it was a bad experience for her. She hated it, and she doesn't want to ride a bike herself, which is too bad.
Well, I think it's funny because what's my favorite vehicle? It's a Jeep. So Jeep, you have the top off, you can have the doors off.
Yep.
But I still feel like when I'm in a car or a Jeep, I'm protected because I'm inside this cage. So I can do donuts, I can drift. That stuff doesn't bother me. I'd actually love to do that. And it's far more dangerous to do those things than it is to ride a bike. But I still feel more comfortable doing that than I do riding a bike, even if I'm riding a bike in a straight line.
It's for,
and when I say bike, we're talking motorcycle.
Right.
I'm not talking about a dirt or a pedal bike,
Right.
which I have a mountain bike and I love.
And you're not scared of?
I'm not scared of, right.
Well, it's stability. And for most people, it's a stability issue. And of course, with 4 wheels, you can sit stopped and you're stable. With 2 wheels, you're not, or you're less so at least. And so that's the understandable part of it. When you get on terrain that is not very sticky. So one of the big things I'm seeing a lot of these days is people mowing the lawn and blowing the grass clippings into the road. That is very dangerous on a motorcycle, and in a car you wouldn't even notice it.
Exactly.
So those things, the traction piece of it is a little scarier on 2 wheels, but you know that going in, so you have to look out for those things.
So anyway,
but you can get on a bike. I want to get you on a bike. Okay. What else? Who else do you have?
We'll talk about that. Gary Vee, you need to look up Gary Vee, because I think as a digital marketer yourself, I'm surprised. That was my thing. I was surprised that you hadn't heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. So, and it may be one of those things you just don't remember his name, but you've seen all of his stuff. It's actually something I use in my consulting. I use some of his books. I use Jab, 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 Right Hook, because it talks about engaging customers on social media, how you actually can do it. Because most people that are trying to market their business, anytime they post, let's use Facebook as the example, anytime they're trying to post something on Facebook, they're posting, come in now for the sale, come in now for the sale, buy, 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 buy. You can't do that. It's just like when we're talking about inside of a dealership, when you're selling to a customer, you haven't earned the right at the outset to ask that person to buy a car. You actually have to build a relationship with that person before you can use that capital, that good, all that money you've made, if for lack of a better term, to start to spend it on somebody. That's what Jab, 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 Right Hook is all about on social media. You put little things up there. You talk about the business. You talk about value in the business. You talk about value of the people. You talk about things that happen. You make your business look like a human. And then once you have that engagement from customers, you throw that right hook. And then you can say, come in now for the sale, but you've earned the right to say that. So I love that book. It was actually mandatory reading in one of my classes when I got my master's.
Awesome. All right.
And I've read a couple of his books before and after that as well, which are very, very good. Highly recommend. Let's see what else. TED. Did you hear me say TED?
I did.
CBT News. Chill Your Mind. I have a lot of Chill Your Mind. That's music that I play in the background using YouTube. Kurt Hugo Schneider.
Kurt Hugo Schneider. Schneider, is that?
Yeah, it's one of those YouTube musicians.
Oh, okay.
Sailing La Vagabond. Aviation 101.
Cool. Something you and I share.
It's not a teacher. He's just a guy who flies his airplane around. It's really kind of cool. He just did it in a 12-part series where he went to visit Alaska, and that was really cool. Adventure Adrift, BuzzFeed, Sailing Uma, Kara and Nate, Neil Patel, Sailing Around the World, LinkedIn Marketing Solutions, Captain Rick Moore, Callie Kim 29 Garden and Home DIY, Epic Family Road Trip, Keep Your Daydream,
KYD.
Flying and Sailing Doodles. They're 2 channels. They're both the same guy.
Awesome. Same guy. And he broke up with his girlfriend.
Really?
Yes.
Again?
Yeah,
Hasn't
the
he done
hot
that a
girl
couple
with
of
the
times already?
bolt-ons.
So I'm obviously you've watched Sailing Doodles. Have you ever watched Flying Doodles?
I have. I watched one of them. Yeah, I mean, he was a pilot before he was a captain. So
right.
Yeah, I haven't watched as much as I might, but I think just one episode is all I've seen.
You should watch the one with the V-tail Bonanza. You'll know that. Then you'll see my second favorite airplane.
Cool.
Then I'll give you a couple more, and then we'll move on to your subscription list.
That sounds great.
Kirsten Dirksen, and she goes around to all over the world with her kids and her husband, and they go to people that have built or saved very unique homes. The most recent one I watched was The Joy of Rebuilding a Settler's Cabin log by log in Minnesota on Minnesota Homestead.
Wow.
Yeah. Max and Lee, which is they're a van couple. So is Eamon and Beck. I've watched them as well. Eamon and Beck also have a cookbook out that you can get, which is really good. And it's not coming up here for some reason, but the one that I watch a lot of is Sailing SV Delos.
Oh, I've seen that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Vega Brothers is another one.
Cool.
So yeah, and there's a ton more, but I can't see him. I guess I must not watch him enough because Kina Granis is another YouTube musician that I watch. Very, very good. Yeah. So go ahead. What are some of yours?
I have 3. No, I'm just kidding.
One more. There's 2 more. Sorry, 2 more that I would highly recommend people. Clean and Delicious, which is all about cooking. Danny Spees is the host there. She's really, really funny. And then Postmodern Jukebox.
Excellent. Clean and Delicious.
Yes. So now you.
Okay.
Clean and Delicious. Yeah.
Donut Media. Have you seen that?
Donut
You're
Media?
not familiar with that?
No.
I'm going to do that on every one that you don't know.
Is it Dough Nut or Dog Nut?
DONUT. Donut Media. They review cars and actually have a very interesting take on things. But vehicles, engines.
I have subscribed.
Kind of cool. You'll like that. What Tucker got, of course. I mean, you have to follow Tucker. Do you know Tucker?
I can't hear you because you went quiet on us.
Do you know Tucker got?
No.
Okay, so you would like this, but you have to watch. It's one that you have to watch a couple anyway to kind of get into it. But he has 935,000 subscribers.
That's so few compared to all my friends.
I know. He has a I can't think what the name of it is. It's a paramotor, and it's he straps it on his back and has they call it a wing. It's like
I see it.
a parachute.
I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, isn't it cool? So
yeah,
it takes off from the playgrounds or whatever and flies. I think he's been up to 10,000 feet or more.
Wow.
But we'll fly.
In his last one, it looks like he that one was recommended to me yesterday. I did not subscribe beforehand, but I did see the Flying with Balloons Police were called.
Oh yeah.
Episode come up on my recommended.
Yes. And who knows what I think he gets that occasionally because people aren't used to seeing somebody flying like that, but it's very cool. It's something I don't know. I could probably be talked into doing that.
Oh, me too. So here's another. I love the name of his company. Risky Biscuits.
Oh yes, Risky Biscuits. And he's selling lots of merch.
That's a great name.
Lots of merch.
Yeah. Okay.
So cool. That's Tucker. Let's see. Less Junk, More Journey. You know them probably.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Camping Family.
So really quick, you had asked me earlier, and then we'll get on to yours.
Yeah. Sure.
160. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 170 is the number of subscriptions I have.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
All right.
Sorry.
And I have, I think, about 290.
Wow.
Well,
Show
yeah,
off.
but I don't get to them very often.
Neither do
Team
I.
Coco.
I watch a very
Conan
select
O'Brien.
few.
I've got Conan's channel. I get on
Nice.
there occasionally. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Jordan Matter is a new one that we watch as a family, which is really good. He's a photographer, and he does mostly dancers and contortionists.
Wow. That's interesting. I already said Jerry Palladino. Ride Like a Pro is his channel. Several Christian artists, Shane and Shane, and what was the other one I just saw? Hillsong and a few others, because I often listen to their songs before we choose something for church. Gaffigan, Jim Gaffigan, big surprise.
No. Wow. But you want to know something? I don't subscribe to anything about The Rock.
No, you need to get
Boom. Mic. I would drop the mic, but it's connected.
Oh, well, do it. You need to.
That would.
Nice. What other ones? Lots of motorcycle crap, as you can imagine. JMP Cycles, and
I didn't know you rode motorcycles.
Yeah, I know, it's a real surprise to you. Motorcycle Freedom, and Adam Sandoval, Green Bay Packers.
Packers.
And I'm sure you're subscribed to them too.
Oh no, I'm really not.
I didn't think so.
I know. I was.
Pippi Peterson, who is a camper.
I thought you were going to say Pippi Longstocking.
Nope, not
like
Pippi
John.
Longstocking. No, not
Who's
her.
Pippi Peters?
Pippi Peterson is a camping person. She's done lots of stuff, and she does. I shouldn't say camping, RV. She does. She's done a renovation on hers, and did some kind of cool things. So at some point, I was just taking a look.
Is it Pippi Peterson?
SON, yes. PIPPI. Yeah, and she's fun to listen to.
Okay.
Torrin Wells, excellent singer. Tauren, Torrin Wells. Cool guy. Great vocals.
Okay.
Who else do I have? I'm trying to find interesting ones as I go through. Drummer Cafe.
Interesting.
Has interesting drum lessons and riffs and things like that. And I'm trying to learn to play the bass, so I have several bass guitar chats as well. That's not necessarily nice, but
what I say, John?
Nice. Steak as a topic.
Nice.
I know, what a beauty.
Nice.
Yeah, you know that. Sorry, you're vegetarians.
I do have to say I left a lot of my flying videos out of there. I do watch a lot of flying videos, like AOPA Live and stuff like that.
Yeah. There are, what was the Kit Fox you and I were talking about, weren't we?
Yep.
Cool.
The Kit Fox, very cool airplane. And one of the Kit Fox flyers I watched Trent Palmer, and I watch Jonas Marquino.
Yep.
Marquino.
And those guys both, I think they were both together, if I'm not mistaken, when they
both had competing companies.
Oh, okay.
And then they became friends. It was actually Jonas who started his YouTube channel first, and then Trent came along and started his, and so they were competitors. And then, of course, Trent is still.
There's the loud dog.
Hey, Indy. Yeah. Hi, Indy. How you doing?
Somebody at the door. What a shock!
Right. I said a drop in.
Wow. Yeah, another drop in. No, I think it's a delivery, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that's cool.
Anyway, so Jonas started his first. Jonas is actually semi-retired. He doesn't really, all he does is YouTube videos, while Trent Palmer still does his drone
Both
business.
of those guys, I think, went together, if I'm not mistaken, to the Oshkosh show.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
And they posted about, I think Jonas had some engine trouble or had a cap that was off or something like that.
Yes. Yep.
And found that.
He's got his girlfriend from the Ukraine with him.
She is quite pretty.
She's very pretty. Great eyes, great smile.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
Just kidding. Never seen her face. But
Okay, one question before you continue. I have a very important question for you, Jon, because I'm going through my list again, just seeing what I've missed.
yeah,
Do you, and we won't say who it is, but do you subscribe to our company's YouTube channel?
yes,
Good boy.
yeah.
I thought I'd catch you on that one.
No, I passed by it, but yeah, I've been subscribed for a long time.
Okay.
Tesla Racing Channel, you have to check that out.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, Tesla Racing Channel, because it's very simplistic but very awesome. It's some guy with a stripped down Tesla, and he races all of these awesome cars, frankly, race cars. He's on a drag strip and races these guys and just blows the doors off most of them.
Nice.
Does a quarter mile and I mean, like almost motorcycle speed, and so quicker off the line than almost anybody.
Okay.
But yeah, kind of fun to watch some of those anyway. And he's a nice, unassuming guy and all of that. Harley-Davidson, big shock.
No way.
Yeah, I know. Orianthe, if you official Orianthe is what the name of the page is. She is an excellent guitarist. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
She is almost the Joe Bonamassa of female guitarists. Very, very good. Let's see. Hot Bike.
Hot Bike.
Yep.
That's a hot bike.
It's a hot bike. I don't go there very often. Dude Perfect. I like to check those out sometimes.
Nice.
The Office. Yeah, I'm on that quite often.
Yeah. Which one?
Which what?
British or American?
Oh, American, yeah.
Okay.
I've watched the British, and it's fun and funny. You know how you kind of see how the characters plug in, but they did so much more in character development in the U.S. version.
Right.
Probably because it went on for more seasons. But Drum Lessons, Fitness Blender, my buddy David Kane Automotive.
Okay.
Excellent band that is sort of a takeoff on Robert Plant, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, Greta Van Fleet. I've seen them live, and unfortunately, the sound was crap. So,
that sucks.
It was really bad, and I'm not sure. It was probably partly the venue, but yeah, it was disappointing because I was really looking forward to seeing them. Four young guys. I think three of them are brothers, or they're three or four. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. But they're fun to listen to. Greta Van Fleet.
I've heard that name before.
Band actually got their name from a lady who lives in their hometown of Frankenmuth, Michigan.
Frankenmuth. That's a great name. It really is a great name.
The Christmas town. They have a Christmas a store there that sells Christmas stuff year round. Yeah, kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Piano guys, just like you,
right?
Yeah. Those are my primary ones.
So here's a question for you.
Sure.
How many hours do you devote to watching YouTube? And do you watch it on your big TV? It's two questions. Do you watch it on your regular television, or do you only watch it on your devices?
Well, usually on my desktop if I do. I mean, I've done both. My desktop, I've got a 22-inch monitor, so that's usually the one I'm on. Although I will cast often if we have friends over or whatever. I'll pick it up on my phone and cast to my TV.
Okay. You don't have a smart TV with YouTube on it already?
I do, but that's not my main one that we're usually on. I've got a bigger 55-inch in my quote unquote man cave. It's
right.
Yeah.
So we have a 55-inch, and it's a smart TV with YouTube on it. And it baffles my wife because Peyton and I will sit on the couch, and instead of watching Netflix or Hulu, a lot of times we'll just watch videos on YouTube the whole time. And and then I hand her the remote or something. She's like, I don't know how to use YouTube on the TV. And she just gets so frustrated with us. She's like, why are you watching this? Why can't you watch a show? Like, because this is more interesting. We actually get to see content specifically exactly what we want to see when we want to see it. And yeah, sometimes the quality isn't as good, but that's changing quickly. A lot of these videos, these guys are really, really good at editing, even though they are amateurs in most cases. But I will say, watching some of these videos, having gone to college to do this sort of work, I think a lot of them are even better than I was when I actually did it for a living. Granted, the barrier to entry is a lot less, and there's a lot more affordable tools out there to be able to do a lot of really cool things. And YouTube helps a ton.
Yeah, no question. In many ways. I mean, not just with, they will help with income even. And it's been, they will tell you how to do it and things like that, which is cool. I had one more I wanted to make sure I shared with you, because you were talking about music sites. This, and I don't know if I mentioned it to you. Somebody did. It may have been our, and I'm not certain about this, but it may have been our mutual friend and work buddy Chris, who recommended these guys. I don't know why that sticks in my head that it was him, but it's Nathaniel Rateliff. A band. The band is Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
Nice.
It's an awesome name, but when you hear them play, it's truly quite impressive. They are they're very, very good.
Interesting. I don't think I love that name, but I've never heard of him.
Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. So you may want to check that out if you have a chance.
I will. Awesome.
Quite cool. And I do follow A Clean and Delicious with
Little Danny Spies.
Spies.
I think it's Spies. When she says it, I think she says Spies. I could be wrong.
Well, maybe she's saying it wrong.
Maybe she is. We actually watched that the other day. I have one of her videos saved, and it's the corn on the cob, 3 different ways to cook corn on the cob.
Oh, cool.
I've cooked it 2 of the 3 ways that she has done before I ever watched the video, which one is boiling it, obviously. One is cooking it on the grill while it's still in the husk. But the one thing that she taught me, and we tried it, and it worked really, really well, was microwaving the corn.
I don't know if we've done it, but I know we've heard of it being quite effective.
Yeah, because all you do, you buy it, it's still in the husk. You don't have to worry about the husk. Right. You don't have to worry about the silk.
Yep.
You just literally throw it in the microwave, cook it for, I think it's 4 minutes it's 4 minutes for the first one, and then add an additional 2 for every additional one you put in there.
Okay.
So we added an extra minute on top of that. And it's so cool because you cut off when it's done, you cut off the end where the stalk comes in.
And it all just slips right out. We have done that.
It just all slips out, and oh man, it's so good. It tastes really good too. And I am not a fan of microwaves, so that's telling you something if I actually really liked it.
That's awesome. And that too is I'm not a big fan of shucking corn.
It's shucking ridiculous.
Yeah, see? And that's where if you can get away from all because it used to drive me crazy, anybody who would shuck the corn and leave the silk on. And, you get it in your teeth when you're eating. And now I apparently care less. My wife has trained me not to be as picky.
Literally, right?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy me some Danny Spies.
Yeah.
It's very good. Highly recommend that for anyone that wants
to. Some really good looking recipes.
Yeah, she does.
Overnight oats. You've done that, haven't you?
Oh, I do overnight oats all the time. You're making fun of me now because you saw me do mine. I actually I have 3 Tupperware containers that are just big enough for overnight oats. And a lot of times I pre-make all of the overnight ingredients ahead of time, and then just get milk when I'm at a hotel, or bring milk with me because I like nut milk, not regular milk, and then just pour in the milk and let it sit in the fridge overnight, and I've got breakfast in the morning.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I go downstairs at the hotel and I have breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. So you're going to die of heart disease someday.
No. Good gracious. Yeah, you're saving yourself by having a prank.
I am,
I've
because
seen
all
what
of my ingredients are organic.
Yeah.
They're all organic, and they're all made with very few ingredients compared to, the powdered eggs downstairs.
They're not all powdered eggs. In
Well,
fact,
it
I
depends
usually
on the
grab
hotel you go to.
No, I don't go to those hotels. I usually often grab the hard-boiled eggs. Tough to powder those.
See, I don't trust those hard-boiled eggs. They've been sitting out for more than 2 minutes. And who knows how long it was since they were actually boiled.
But they were boiled, so they're fine.
Yeah, but that doesn't take long before all of the bacteria gets on them. I won't talk. I'll let you have your hard-boiled eggs, and I'll stay out. I am scared.
You are.
If I don't make those freaking things, I'm not eating them.
We're all going to die.
Yes, and some sooner than others.
Yes, and I'm okay with that.
I had an old boss that used to partake in beer drinking quite a bit, and he said his goal was that his liver would live longer than he did.
Wow.
Because he pickled it so much.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. That's a terrific goal.
It didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In hindsight, what have we learned here?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was dark. That took a dark turn.
Dark. Well played, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I can do.
Guru. Have you seen that one?
All I heard was guru. What?
Gadget Guru.
Oh, I thought you said ganja guru, so I'm glad it was gadget. No, I have not heard of Gadget Guru. Tell us about Gadget Guru.
Well, pretty interesting dude. He has several things that he's an older gentleman, and he has several things that he discusses, not the least of which is he drives an amazing motor coach. It's a Prevost.
Nice.
And if you're not familiar with them, it is truly awesome, and they typically run new in the $1 million range.
Right.
Yeah, pretty cool. And he does videos on how to park it.
It quite literally is a home on wheels.
It is. It's a really nice home on wheels. It's it's a beautiful unit, as he might call it. But he spends time explaining how to drive them and even, things, backing it and parking and things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's
nice,
fun videos. So, and those are things I'm never, even if I could afford that, I wouldn't buy it. I think I'd use the money for something else.
Yeah, like another bike.
Yeah, like another bike. Exactly. You're a genius.
I am. I know. I'd buy an airplane, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I know. And we'd both be in trouble.
Yes. Yes, we would. I'd probably buy several airplanes if you would buy several bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But airplanes are more expensive. Sorry.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I bet you I could find an airplane cheaper than your bike, the one you have now. Yeah.
Than my bike? Yeah, well, you could, but it would be much worse than eating hard-boiled eggs.
No, not necessarily. Cessna 152s are nice little airplanes. They call any Cessna with an overwing, they literally call idiot proof because it would take an idiot to crash them.
Really?
Yes. Have you never heard that?
No. I think everybody that does it usually dies in a plane crash.
Probably, yeah. So I was the last time I was in a 172, which is a Cessna. It's a 4-seater.
Yep.
So it goes. There are a lot of numbers in between, but there are 140s, there are 145s, 150s, 170s, 172s. So I was in a 172. It happened to be my stepbrother's, and we're flying, and he was checking out a person to fly the airplane because they were going to rent it from him. So you go out for a check flight, and I was sitting in the back seat, and this was pre-iPhone, but I was still playing on my phone, probably doing the T9 texting to somebody. And I was heads down, and then I picked my head up and looked out the window, and we were flying backwards.
Really?
And then I plugged in my headphones because I had unplugged them, because I didn't really want to listen. And I'm like, guys, we're going backwards. What's going on? He said, we're trying to stall the airplane, and it just won't fucking stall.
Wow.
That's a 172. That's a Cessna for you. They are idiot proof. And he actually had to do a wing over to get the thing to stall so she could feel what it felt like at stall speeds.
What's a wing over?
A wing over is not quite a roll, but basically you're rolling the airplane. You're nosing up and kind of doing a back. Yeah.
Okay. Not to be confused with an overwing, which the Cessna 172 is.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So yeah, they're idiot proof. Now, of course, there are plenty of people that have crashed them, but of course they're also idiots. Anyway, not really. I'm sure they're very fine people, but most accidents are pilot error anyways.
That is true. I would love to, and I'm looking at pictures of them, and they're cool. I would love. I see one with floats on it.
Yeah.
I would love to have a house on a lake and be able to just land a plane.
Absolutely. So have we ever talked about my 2 favorite airplanes?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So my number 1 favorite airplane, I know we've talked about it because you make fun of it because of the name. It's a de Havilland Beaver.
It's the Beaver.
Those are the ones you usually see on floats.
Yeah.
It's got a big round radial engine in the front. They're really slow, old workhorse airplanes. They're fantastic. And then the second one is a Beechcraft Bonanza V35 or V35B to be more specific, which is their high performance single engine aircraft. It's the type my stepfather flew, and it has a V tail instead of a T tail.
Oh, isn't that an underwing?
That's an underwing, yes. So look up V35B.
I already did.
You can just type in V35B; it'll come up.
That's the Beechcraft.
Yep. So that happens to be that it's a very fast airplane. It's also been nicknamed the Doctor Killer, which is ironic because my stepdad was a doctor.
You did tell me about that.
Yep.
Well, not all of them. Let's see. I'm looking at some. Oh, this is a Bonanza. Yeah, V35.
Yeah, Beechcraft Bonanza.
But I see
V35B.
one with a regular tail, not the V.
That's an A36. They confuse it. Some people confuse it. The A36 has a T-tail, but pretty much the same airplane, just a different. It does feel a little bit different when you're flying because there's a difference when you're flying a T-tail versus a V-tail.
There also may be a difference in nomenclature because this one is labeled a European Bonanza, so maybe it's different in the Europe. I don't know.
I've never heard that one, but it could be.
I don't know.
Absolutely
interesting. The tail is quite interesting. It's I wonder.
Yeah, it lulls you to sleep because it even in smooth air. And I'm holding up my hand so people can't see me, but it actually it kind of does a circle, a very slow rocking circle.
What do you mean?
And if you're looking straight on to the tail, imagine it going around like a tiny little hula hoop, just kind of going up and down and around, like going clockwise on a clock.
Huh?
So it does it, and it's very subtle, but if you're sitting in the back, you can feel it, and it'll put you right to sleep.
I have no idea what you're talking about. The tail moves?
I know. Well, the tail always on airplanes moves through the air. It's just how will it move? Will it rock back and forth, or will it go kind of in a circle? And the V-tails go in a little bit of a circle. It's really, really subtle, but if you're in completely smooth air, you're going to feel it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see that, I guess. I'll have to do the YouTube search.
You have to climb in the back of one of this. You wouldn't fit.
No, I certainly wouldn't. I can see that. And here's the Beaver.
Yeah.
That looks like
here's the Beaver, everyone. Can you see it?
Old school plane.
It is a very old school plane.
I'm holding up the Beaver for you.
If we're doing a lot of stuff today, I hope that people, and I'll make sure I put it in the show notes, that people actually listen to this particular episode while they're at home rather than when they're in their car.
Right.
Because we've been mentioning a whole bunch of YouTube videos to watch. We've been mentioning a whole bunch of pictures to look up and motions with our hands. It's going to be really difficult for those people who are driving to actually engage with us on this episode.
How about people that are running? How about
or
those
people that
folks?
are running? Yeah, or people that are mowing their lawn and listening to it in double speed. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Chris.
Yeah, well, Chris is going to do that, and he's probably just going to run over things while he's mowing the lawn because of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He'll think he's in a de Havilland Beaver.
Yes. Yes. They also have the Otter, and the Otter is a very pretty airplane. It's twice the size of the Beaver.
Well, otters are bigger than beavers.
Are they, though?
I don't know. Do you have a bird in your office? I'm hearing a bird.
No. Are you hearing a bird? That's outside my window. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I know what you're going to do when you're going to when you retire. Wow, I can't even get that out of my mouth. So you're going to be a bird watcher.
No, I'm not. I see people post pictures on YouTube of their bird watching, and oh my goodness, yeah, okay, wow, cool. Yeah.
I'm still really surprised you heard that, because this microphone doesn't usually pick up that much
latent
outside noise, and I can barely hear it. I guess if I can hear it through my headphones,
latent sound,
it's pretty loud.
Yeah, it's very latent, very good, and it sounds very nice. It was actually
interesting,
quite calming. I was thinking I was in the back of a Beechcraft B35.
V35.
B.
No, V.
Really?
Yeah, V as in Victor. V35B.
Bonanza B35. Bonanza B35. Beechcraft B35 Bonanza. V-tail.
No, it's a V35B.
No, it's...
Type it incorrectly and see what comes up. That's probably why you got the A36.
These are all labeled B-35 Bonanza aircraft.
Someone put it in there wrong.
Really?
It is a V35, yes. Victor 35
That's what you should have
Bravo.
Said. If you're in the control tower, you need to say Victor Bravo.
That's true. That's very true.
Interesting. Okay, so hold on. Let me V it and see what that does. And it's the same planes.
Yeah, it's the same planes.
Yeah.
But they do not have a B-35B.
Really?
Someone
were labeled that
well, that doesn't mean they labeled it right, John.
Well, maybe they labeled it so people would look at it who erroneously typed in the wrong thing because someone told them, and they thought it was
maybe
Beaver B and not Victor.
See, and it's did you type in Beechcraft? Because I typed in B-35B and I got nothing. I got no aircraft.
I did Beechcraft B-35.
See, that's
or something like that.
Yeah, you got the Beechcraft part of it.
Yeah. Those are interesting looking planes. There's a really nice, it's Rare Aircraft is the name of the website.
So if you can actually, let's see, you can actually look up some airplanes by the tail number. So type in just in the search, N or November 21914. 219 or 14. And the very first thing that comes up, you'll see the tail number.
Yep.
On a Bonanza. That was they repainted it, but it was my stepdad's airplane.
No kidding.
Yep.
That was actually his.
Yeah. So if you go down, actually scroll down a little bit, you'll see one that says random photos of Beechcraft where it's orange and brown, and you just see the tail with a tarp on top of it. That was the original paint color.
Sure. That is interesting. That's very cool that so when a plane is numbered, it retains that forever?
Mm-hmm. It does unless it changes countries, because the N moniker is United States.
Estados Unidos.
So anything that starts with an N is registered in the United States.
Cool.
And I couldn't tell you if that actually changes if you change countries. I really don't know. I think maybe it's where point of origin. I don't know.
Interesting. So single engine retractable.
Yep.
Very cool. Good looking plane.
My goal someday is to buy this airplane back. I know who owns it right now.
Do you really?
Yep. I don't know the person. I just know the company and where it is. But if I ever become a millionaire for making podcasts and I get my pilot's license, then I'm buying that airplane back. I loved that airplane.
It's in Scottsdale, it looks like.
It is in Scottsdale.
Yeah. I know who it is.
It's owned by a plumbing company, I believe.
Cool.
Some sort of company like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
They fly between Scottsdale and Flagstaff.
Huh. Which is not a bad flight, I wouldn't think.
Not a bad flight at all. And it's very ironic, a little bit of family history. When my stepdad moved down with his family, his original family, from Canada to Minnesota, he had the choice between going to the University of Minnesota, because whenever you get your medical license in a different country, when you move to a different country, you have to do your residency all over again. So he had to go through a residency program once more and then he could practice.
Oh, cool.
Well, he could practice, but he had to be a resident to practice. Anyway, so when he came down to the States, he had a decision to make. Do I want to move to Minnesota and go to the University of Minnesota, or do I want to move to Flagstaff? Because he got a job offer in Flagstaff as well. And he chose Minnesota, thank goodness. But I think it's kind of ironic that even though he chose Minnesota, he still kind of wanted to move to Flagstaff. And after, when he was retired, they actually bought a place in Arizona. But I think it's interesting that his airplane, the pride and joy of his life, he loved that airplane so much, ended up in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Or ended up in Scottsdale and Flagstaff, but still.
Very cool. That is a cool insight, and awesome that you know that much about the whole story.
You know, I try. I like, you know me, I like useless knowledge, and that is very much useless knowledge.
It might be, but it's still knowledge.
It's useful for me.
Yeah.
It keeps my dreams alive. It keeps my hopes alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. I think we have bored our listeners enough with airplanes and YouTube.
Do what? I think we covered some cool stuff. I like the knowing more about the YouTube channels that you've saved and subscribed to. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I've got quite a few more on there that I didn't mention, but it's kind of fun. Those are the main ones that come up on my recommended. Of course, Peyton watches more YouTube than I do, so a lot of hers, like Rebecca Zamolo, don't ever watch Rebecca Zamolo unless you have kids. It's kind of like an escape game. She and her husband do an escape game on every episode, sort of, but it's like a long-running escape game where they're making up their own things. It's interesting. I can see how a kid would like it, but it drives me nuts. And then the other ones she watches all the time I do, because I watched it a lot with the little one. But she also watches a lot of Roadblocks videos, which those drive me so crazy. They're horrible.
What are they?
It's a game. Okay. But people record themselves playing games. So people talk about that all the time. How do these kids watch other people playing games?
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it is.
It sucks.
Yeah. They suck so badly. So whenever that happens, I usually have to leave the room. I can sit in the room and watch Rebecca Zamolo. I can't sit in the room and watch Roadblocks. I just can't. So I leave. I go up into my office and watch my own YouTube.
I am going to totally erase that from my mind, the names of them, because I don't want to go there.
Yeah, now you're going to see them all over the place. They're going to come up on all of your advertisements because we mentioned it. And Google is that smart.
That's beautiful. You are the man. Thank you, brother, for taking the time. It's always fun to talk with you and fun to learn more about Nick's mind.
Yeah, the lack thereof. But I would love to hear what our listeners think, or if there are any channels our listeners think we need to check out. I bet you Bill has quite a few with his restoration of vehicles. He's probably got some great recommendations to share with us.
And that would be
Matt,
fun.
I'm talking to you too, buddy, because I know we talk about YouTube all the time. So let's get some recommendations. I want to hear some other channels to go to, and you can share that with us by head up to our website and check out our website at PoddiMouths.com. On PoddiMouths.com, you're going to see links to subscribe to not just all of the different channels that you can subscribe to for podcast listening, but you can also subscribe and follow us on all of our social media networks, including Facebook at PoddiMouths. And you can hit us up on Twitter at
Mouse Poddy.
You can go to Instagram at PoddiMouths, or you can check us out at Eat Drink Road. That's eat.drink.road on Instagram. And then, head up to Patreon and you should throw us a few bones, and maybe we can get our airplane sooner. Hey, if we get someone to sponsor us at $10,000 a month, I will go buy that airplane and bring him up for a ride after I get my pilot's license in 10 years.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
In 10 years.
In 10 years.
Well, it's going to take you a long time.
It's not going to take me that long, but to take them up in that airplane and to be able to afford it, it's going to take me a while, because I would like to have a few hours or a few hundred hours under my belt before I even attempt to fly a V-35B.
So with your passengers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my stepbrother used to fly it a lot too, and he always told me that if I got my pilot's license, I don't know why he said it, because thought it was his airplane. It was my stepdad's airplane. So, it's not his choice, but he said he wouldn't let me fly it until I had at least 1,400 hours under my belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
you
going
dick.
down on you.
Yep. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Awesome.
Jon, a pleasure as usual.
Thank you,
Have a great week, everybody.
See ya.